Hello and welcome back to On the Inside Edge. We are inching ever so much closer to the women's event, and today I'm going to be discussing the contenders for the women's Olympic podium. And I will be limiting my selection to the standout skaters that have caught my eye and I think have a decent shot at the podium. That being said, these are just my picks and my thoughts, and I would like to acknowledge that the current women's field is stacked, and I definitely had a hard time choosing. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let us kick off the women's event with none other than Kaori Sakamoto, or as I call her, Little Miss Sunshine. Kaori Sakamoto is just a huge ray of sunshine and an absolute radiant bundle of joy. I mean, look at that face. And she is an absolute delight to watch as she skates. Dare I say it, knowing the women's Olympic favorite curse, but I think Kaori Sakamoto is the favorite to take the win here at Milano Cortina 2026. Kaori is a three-time world champion, the current world silver medalist, and the bronze medalist at the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Kaori made her senior debut in the 2017 to 2018 season, where she also competed at her first Olympic Games at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. That same season, she would secure her first and only Four Continents win, leading the Japanese women's sweep. In terms of attending the Winter Olympic Games, Kaori is a seasoned veteran, as this will be her third Olympic Games, as she previously competed at the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics, the 2022 Beijing Olympics, and now the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. Kaori Sakamoto has one of the best axles in the women's competition at the current moment. Her double axle is one of the largest I've ever seen, and she has incredible speed going into it and out of the double axle, where she manages to sustain a beautiful edge. And I've never seen something like it, and I will truly miss it in the coming seasons. Now, you may be asking why I will miss it. Well, Kaori Sakamoto has announced her intention to retire from competitive figure skating following the conclusion of this season. And for that reason, she selected the song Time to Say Goodbye as her music choice. And I have to say, it is one of my all time favorite short programs of hers, even though it is technically her farewell song to her fans. My favorite Kaori program, however, has got to be her 2021 to 2022 skating season's free skate set to No Fight Left in Me and Tris, which some people might know better as her Olympics I Am a Woman program. All in all, Kaori Sakamoto is the one that you should be paying attention to and watching out for in the women's discipline at the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games. And as a Kaori fan, while I'm sad to see her go and retire after this season, I wish her nothing but the best going forward. Next up, we must talk about Amber Glenn. Amber Glenn is the Empress, Mother, Queen, and an all round certified badass. I mean, come on, just look at her 2024 to 2025 skating season program, and that fierce energy. An absolute slay of a program. On a more serious note, let's talk about Amber herself. At 26 years of age, she is the oldest American woman to qualify for the Olympic singles since 1928, and it is actually her first Olympic Games, and she was the oldest woman at 25 in the 2024 to 2025 skating season to win a Grand Prix medal at the Grand Prix de France, and she went on to win the Grand Prix final that year. But Amber Glenn has been around for a while, as she debuted onto the competitive circuit in her first junior appearance at the 2013 Junior Grand Prix Czech Republic, where she won the bronze, and she debuted onto the senior circuit in the 2018 to 2019 season and won the bronze at the 2019 US Classic. Amber did attempt to qualify for the Beijing 2022 Olympics but struggled in her short program and placed 14th in the segment, and unfortunately she tested positive for COVID-19 and had to withdraw before the free skate, eliminating her chance to compete at Beijing 2022. Now, in 2026, she snatched her third consecutive national title, which named her to the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games national team. In terms of technical aspects, Amber is a very powerful skater and she has massive jumps, and she has an Ultra C element, the triple axel, in her arsenal, and she has competed with it before. So I'm very excited to see Amber Glenn absolutely slay it at the Olympics, and I'm wishing her nothing but the best. Up next, we must discuss Alysa Liu, who I call chaotic good, as she is chaos, but she's also an amazing skater. Alysa Liu is the current reigning world champion, and she won that title at the 2025 Worlds in Boston, and she is also the current reigning Grand Prix final champion, and the 2022 Worlds bronze medalist, and a two-time US national champion, where she actually won her first senior nationals at just 13 years of age, and at 14, she secured her second national seniors title and was the youngest skater to ever win two national titles and the second woman since Mirai Nagasu to win both the junior and senior national titles back to back. Alyssa is an accomplished jumper and she has Ultra C elements, the quadruple Lutz and the triple axel, which she was the first woman from any country to land a quad Lutz and a triple axel in one program. However, the quad Lutz seems to be something she only accomplished in her junior career, and she hasn't landed it since. Her triple axel has been landed in senior competitions in the 2021 to 2022 skating season, but she has struggled with fully rotating it. Furthermore, Alyssa's quad Lutz in her junior years, in my personal opinion, were not true quad Lutzes, as she did have a 3/4 pre rotation on the ice, as opposed to the textbook technique, which is a 1/4 rotation on the ice before the skater takes off. In terms of the Olympics, this is Alyssa's second Olympics appearance, as she previously competed at the Beijing 2022 Olympics where she placed sixth. So Alysa Liu will definitely be looking to better that performance. So I would watch out for Alysa Liu at the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. Next, we have Monet Chiba, the 2025 World's Bronze medalist and the 2024 Four Continents champion. Monet is trained by Mie Hamada at Kinoshita Academy, and Monet's debut season as a senior is incredibly hard to place, as she was both junior and senior at the same time during the 2022 to 2023 skating season, and she made her junior Grand Prix debut at the Junior Grand Prix Gdansk, where she finished second behind Mao Shimada. But that year, she was also signed to compete at the Four Continents in Colorado Springs, where she placed third, winning the bronze medal after a new personal best in her free skate. In the 2023 to 2024 skating season, Monet won the Four Continents after winning the both short and free skates, but with edge calls on her Lutzes, something which she struggles with, but I do not fault her for this, as many top tier skaters like Kaori Sakamoto also struggle with their Lutzes, and getting an outside edge is hard, and they often have a flat or inside edge. I would say Monet is more of a technical skater rather than an artistic skater, and even Monet has admitted this herself, saying that she wants to improve her musical expressiveness. Monet has had an incredible start to the 2025 to 2026 skating season, as she won her first Grand Prix gold medal at Skate Canada and another one at Finlandia, which qualified her for the Grand Prix final, where she placed fifth overall. Furthermore, this year she also won the Four Continents bronze medal just a few short weeks ago at Beijing. And Monet's free skate is set to Romeo and Juliet, which I consider as a war horse piece. And if you've listened to me yap about war horses before, you'll know I have a complicated relationship with them, as it is so hard to skate to war horse music without letting the music overshadow you. And unfortunately, I think Monet is letting her music overshadow her a bit here. However, that being said, Monet Chiba is very much the future of Japanese figure skating, and I can definitely see her as a skater that will continue to grow and someone you should definitely keep your eye on at these Olympics as she's just getting started. Up next, we have Gia Shin, the Korean rising star. Gia is a rising star in the Korean skating world, and on the junior level, she is the 2024 Youth Winter Olympic Games silver medalist, a four-time World Junior silver medalist, and a two-time Junior Grand Prix silver medalist, and the 2025 CS Nebelhorn Trophy bronze medalist on the senior circuit. Now, if you know Gia, it's probably in comparison to her longtime rival Mao Shimada of Japan, as throughout their junior careers, it was often a fight to see who would claim the top spot between Gia and Mao. Mao is still in seniors and missed the cutoff by just 3 months and is thus ineligible for senior competitions, but Gia made the cutoff, and she is in her first senior season. I would also like to mention that Gia has trained under Brian Orser at the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club, if that's anything to go by, as Brian trained legends in the sport like fellow Korean skater Yuna Kim and, of course, Yuzuru Hanyu. Then Gia Shin is definitely one to watch, as her technical prowess should be very good, as skaters from the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club often have very good jumping techniques and very powerful jumps. This is Gia's first appearance at the Olympic Games, and after very strong performances in her junior seasons, I have every faith that Gia will continue to surprise us and prove to be a woman to watch going forward, especially after the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Lastly, we must discuss Adelia Petrosian. Adelia Petrosian secured her ticket to the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games through the Skate to Milano qualifier in Beijing by placing first in that competition. Now, Adelia Petrosian is a individual neutral athlete, and this name is used to represent approved Russian and Belarusian athletes at the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Now, I won't discuss much of the political side as that is all over the news, but also this channel is focused on figure skating. So I will focus more on Adelia and her elements as well as her background. To begin, Adelia trains at Sambo 70 under Iteri Tuparidze, Sergei Dudakov, and the choreographer Daniel Gleikenhaus. And you've tuned into any of the past three Olympic seasons, you'll know who Eteri is, as she trains skaters like Yulia Lipnitskaya, better known as the girl in the red dress for her iconic performance to Schindler's List at the 2014 Sochi Games, and it was Yulia who skyrocketed Eteri Tuparidze to fame. Eteri has also gone on to train other Olympic athletes like Yevgenia Medvedeva, who earned the nickname Miss Stability due to her consistency in her remarkable dominant seasons during the 2015 to 2017 seasons. And she also trained Alina Zagitova, the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games champion. Her student, Yevgenia Medvedeva, would also go on to place second at those Winter Olympic Games just behind Alina Zagitova. Furthermore, Eteri has also trained the 3A, which is the dominant group comprised of Anna Shcherbakova, Alexandra Trusova, and Alyona Kostanaya, two of which, Alexandra Trusova and Anna Shcherbakova, went on to the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics and placed 1-2 respectively, with Anna Shcherbakova winning the Olympic gold medal and Alexandra Trusova placing second. Iteri Tuparidze was also the coach of Kamila Valieva, the heavy Olympic favorite to win it all at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games. But due to the doping scandal, and perhaps way too much pressure on just a girl that was 15 years of age, Kamila Valieva failed to podium at Beijing. Now, let us go back to Adelia Petrosian herself. Adelia Petrosian is perhaps the only woman in the field to possess any Ultra C elements. And when we talk about Ultra C elements, we mean quads. Adelia is capable of landing the quadruple loop, quadruple toe loop, quadruple flip, and she has placed these quadruples in multiple combinations before, such as a quad loop double toe, and she has apparently trained quad toe combinations. And we might see Adelia compete with her quads at these Olympics. I would also like to note that Adelia is capable of landing the triple axel, alongside two other skaters in this competition, which I briefly covered, are Amber Glenn and Alysa Liu, although Alysa Liu has stated that she will not be attempting the triple axel at the Olympics. So arguably, we might see a triple axel from Delia Petrosian and also Amber Glenn. Given Terry Tuparidze's very dominant reign in the women's field for the past three Olympics, Adelia Petrosian is definitely a skater that you should be keeping a close eye on, as her coach is very successful in coaching skaters and bringing them to the highest levels of this sport. And with that, it marks the official end of the Countdown to the Showdown series, where we covered the standout skaters from each of the disciplines and hopefully gave you all a better idea of who to look out for at the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.